Name is Mannix.
Private eye?
There's gotta be one tough private eye.
Now there's the guy with clout. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah.
Just who are you?
Maybe I'm Peter Pan. I'm a hero. I only fight on the side of the angels.
Who are you?
You know who I am. Yes, I know. Joe Mannix. Oh, I know you've never really heard of me. You ever heard of a man called
Mr. Mannix?
Mannix here.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix? Mr. Mannix?
Mr. Mannix, how do you do?
Who are you?
Private investigator.
Mr. Mannix is the private investigator. This is Mr. Mannix. Hire you, Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix. I want you to investigate, Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
Joe Mannix, private investigator. I don't know where to start, Doctor. I've run into a dead-end, Doctor. I don't know where else to look.
He's very talented.
I want you to investigate now.
My name is Mannix.
Private Dick, eh?
Now, look, my name is Mannix. Private Dick.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mannix.
I called you. My name is Mannix. Sit down.
No!
Yes! Everybody's innocence makes me sick to my stomach. The lies buzz in my ear. 2 for a nickel, Private Dick.
Mannix?
2 for a nickel, Private Dick.
You trust me, stay out of my way so I can get the job done.
I don't think you're a private detective at all.
Yeah, and the police are in on it.
You're a swinger.
Yes, right.
Good luck to you, Mr. Mannix.
Take it easy.
Mannix here.
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
It smells an awful lot like payoffs to me.
Mannix.
It's a chance I'll have to take.
My old friend Mannix.
Mannix?
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix?
Even for Mannix, there's got to be a reason.
A man counting the minutes before the state blots him out gives me all the right I need. Would you like to sit in the stands while I tell a little girl her father's a murderer?
Mannix is doing too good a job.
Mannix, get back yet? Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
All right, you can save that for later. Now, I want some information. Because I don't know what's going on. I need information. Because he knows something. I want information. If I knew, I wouldn't be here. There's more than what I knew.
Mr. Mannix. Have you met Mr. Mannix?
Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
Mr. Mannix? Don't lie to me!
I don't know.
I had to kill a man. Word is he died suddenly. He was buried even more suddenly. Because I get very angry when people plant bombs in my car or jump me. You're gonna be killed.
Sit down, Mr. Mannix.
Hey, Mannix, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, Mannix here.
Mannix?
I know the game, Mannix.
Senor Mannix? Then you are the same Mannix.
That's your problem, Mannix. Mannix?
Something still bothers me.
Could it be Mannix?
Mannix.
Mannix!
Nothing to get excited about, Mr. Mannix?
You set me up to be killed, clear enough? Hi. By the way, I'm Mannix.
No thanks, Mannix.
Make it fast. Either you get her back or you don't come back. Now, you better believe it.
Mannix?
Well, nobody could not like
Mannix? Mannix. Mr. Mannix, please.
You'd be Mr. Mannix, I presume?
The name is Mannix. All right, let's just talk. Now, you listen to me. Both acting like a couple of kids.
You could be wrong.
I could be right. Look, he's only a kid. You want to run? Go ahead, but he's a baby. He doesn't even have a choice.
Mannix?
Mannix. You're the problem, Mannix.
I don't like coincidences. I don't believe in lynch mobs.
This is Mr. Mannix.
Hold it. All I know is a few people don't like each other. I know that now.
What is it, Mannix?
My name is Mannix.
Mannix, would you come to my office, please?
More money, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix?
I'm busy, Mannix.
Mr. Mannix. What is it now, Mannix?
No, I thought all painters had one ear and starved.
No, Mr. Mannix.
No, Mannix, no more. This is Mannix.
Yes, Mannix.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mannix.
Look, I got, Mannix here.
Okay. In case you haven't noticed, I don't really need this.
Mannix is giving us trouble.
Nothing about Mannix ever goes right.
Mannix's twisted mind.
Goes back to apple strudel, a lovely fat lady in a long time ago. Sounds thrilling. That's not what I meant. Nobody blames anybody. It's all sweetness and light. It makes me sick to my stomach. Yeah, well, sorry isn't enough. It stinks of an inside job. I'm gonna check out your patience.
I think you're slightly crazy, Mr. Mannix.
We're looking at the ball game through different knotholes.
Mannix, you must have gone nuts.
Sorry. The smell hangs on.
Mannix.
Are you goofy or something?
Okay. I'll be in touch, Frankie. Yeah, Mannix here. My name is Mannix.
You've heard me speak of Mannix?
I'm only a private detective. Just tell him Mannix is here.
Mr. Big Detective.
I'm in a rotten business, Miss Chalmers. I have a rotten job to do, but it's got to be done. I like my clients to trust me and be cooperative.
You're the detective?
Reason to believe?
No.
It's not a direct answer. Mannix. Joe Mannix.
Well, Mr. Mannix?
My name is Private Detective Mannix.
Mannix?
Maybe you have a problem.
Look, Mannix. Mannix is on his way.
Mannix here.
This is Mannix.
Mannix.
He's a private detective. Mr. Mannix, please, Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
Now stick that in your glass case with the others marked killed in the line of duty.
Joe Mannix is...
Senor Mannix.
You're moving in over your head, Mannix.
Now he starts thrashing around, you're liable to get splashed.
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
He called my name.
Mannix?
Mannix here.
And who said are you? Mannix. That's a good one, Mannix.
I want to know where the meeting is. I want that blackmailer.
Mr. Mannix. Not here, Mannix.
Mannix.
Mr. Mannix?
No, it can only happen to Mannix.
Mannix. I don't like you, Mannix. 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 Please, Mannix, please. Make it short, Mannix.
Mr. Mannix?
Get the way.
Mannix, out the window.
Joe Mannix.
Mannix. And that breaks your pretty little neck. Now, don't you ever try that again.
You're a persistent man.
Yeah, Mannix here. Mannix?
I'm Mr. Mannix.
Ellen, this is Mr. Mannix, the man I told you about.
How do you do?
Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Yeah, Mannix here. Yeah, Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Oh, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix already knows. Mr. Mannix.
Obviously, Mr. Mannix knows.
Mr. Mannix. I'm sorry, Mr. Mannix.
Mannix, I'm gonna blow you.
Smokey the Bear wouldn't like that.
Please, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix. Don't let him fool you, Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
Hold it, Mannix.
I work for wages, not revenge. Try and get it through her thick skull. I'm the only hope she's got of staying alive. Now, it's either me or an undertaker.
Wow, Mr. Mannix. All right, Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mannix? Mannix?
Mr. Mannix.
Where's Mr. Mannix?
You really are a dingaling, aren't you?
Not good enough. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. I can do better than that.
Stupidity.
I'm a private investigator.
Terminal stupidity.
Why the bitterness? I thought it was a walrus tank. Mannix here.
Mannix. Go on, Mr. Mannix.
It wouldn't help you, Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
You're a bungler, Mannix. You know I can't do that. Mannix. Mannix here. Well, Mannix. It's Joe Mannix here.
Mannix. Oh, Mannix. I'm in big trouble, Mannix.
That is odd, isn't it?
Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
Hold it, Mannix.
Okay.
Mannix.
Mr. Mannix. Ah, Mr. Mannix. Everybody knows Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix. Come, Mr. Mannix.
Or you might be hit by a teaspoon from a flying saucer.
Don't humor me, Mannix.
All this over a box full of dirt. My name is Mannix. I'm Mannix. Mannix here.
Mr. Mannix. J. Mannix.
When you get a machine that can tell a lie on a man's face or the hurt in a girl's eye, let me know.
Hi, Mannix. Mannix.
Why did you hire me? I've been lied to, shot at, thrown in jail, suspended, and fired from this case. There's a murderer still running around free out there. It's been that kind of night.
Why, Mannix? I just got a feeling.
Hey, what's your problem, Mannix?
Mannix, wait. I left a note for Mannix.
Thanks. Mannix here. Get up. Try and stop me. Try again.
You see, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
Hey, Mannix.
Well, say it, man.
You could have been dead.
Cool it.
Marcos isn't laughing. He's dead. Dead. Murdered.
Look, I don't know who you are, mister.
You've got to be Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Mannix.
Yes, Mr. Mannix. This is Mr. Mannix.
Mannix. Mannix. What's the matter with you, Mannix?
What is the name? Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Joe Mannix?
Not you, Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
Please, Mr.
Mannix?
Mr. Mannix?
Let's drop the game.
You've pulled some beauties, Mannix, but this one tops them all.
Talks fast, Puffy. I know it's hijacking. I know you ended up to your double chin.
Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
Mannix?
This is your last chance, Puffy.
Joe Mannix.
Mr. Mannix, I understand. I really do.
What do we talk about, Mr. Mannix?
I want you to get Mannix off my back.
Mr. Mannix. Oh, Mr. Mannix.
'Twas Brillig and the slithy toves did. We got to your house, there was a man waiting to kill me, not you. That's right, isn't it?
Let me go.
Your gun, Mr. Mannix.
Everything we've said is on tape.
It's hardly news, Mr. Mannix.
Who are you?
Oh, the name is Mannix.
Mr. Mannix?
Now you tell me the whole thing.
Mr. Mannix.
And I might louse things up, sure. Where do you get off breaking in here like this? Joe Mannix won't talk to your flunkies.
You know, they got places for guys like you, Mannix.
And it isn't the Jade Elephant.
Mannix.
The name is Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Something like that. Now you listen to me.
Come on, Mannix. You know something, Mannix?
I tell you, I don't know who he is.
Mannix.
Yeah.
Mannix has certain talents.
I've even been known to lose my temper. Interesting. Some woman driver. That's all.
Who are you?
I'm a private investigator. My name is Mannix.
Now, Mr. Mannix.
I'm a private detective. My name is Mannix. The best way to get your wife back alive is
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
Mannix here. Now let's get a few things straightened out.
Mr. Mannix.
You can bet on it.
Thank you, Mr. Mannix.
And another thing. Are you a phony?
No.
It's possible. Either murder or complicity in murder. Which is it?
You must be crazy.
Little old you killed 2 people in a fight that left the boat in shambles.
Well,
Right, and you're it.
sorry.
I see.
Mannix. It's been years.
Mr. Mannix. Mannix.
Mannix. Mannix.
Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
I finally got this thing figured out.
Joe Mannix.
Just tell him Mannix is here if you don't mind.
Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
His name is Mannix.
Mannix. This guy's an investigator, man.
Well, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix. No, Mr. Mannix.
Just want to be left alone.
You're not going to be left alone.
I'm tired.
Somebody's out to kill you, Roscoe. Now, you listen to me, Doctor. Your son's life is in danger, and I don't like being kept in the dark.
Man's uptight.
Stop there, Mr. Mannix.
Impressive.
Kill Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
You don't collect a bullet for being honest. I'm Joe Mannix.
Let Mr. Mannix find the answers.
Mr. Mannix is here.
Hello, Mannix.
What's the word?
Mannix, I don't know whether you're a madman or just totally unprincipled.
So we looked for somebody with the name...
Mr. Mannix.
Mannix?
Mr. Mannix.
You're a private investigator.
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
Roving Vice President of the Mafia Acceptance Corporation.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
I've heard a lot about you, Mannix.
Very interesting.
Mr. Mannix.
You know, Mr. Mannix. Okay, Mannix.
Beginning to get the picture? Just sing along.
Mannix. Oh, Mannix.
Oh, Mr. Mannix.
Oh, come off it, Mr. Mannix.
She didn't know you were coming back to play with a tape recorder and a stuffed gorilla.
Mannix, would you come into my office, please?
Mr. Mannix's office.
Hi, Mr. Mannix.
Hey, Mannix.
Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix is expecting you.
My husband was murdered, Mr. Mannix.
How?
I don't know.
Joe Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
What business are you in, Mr. Mannix?
I'm a private investigator.
All right, Mr. Investigator.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
I'm Joe Mannix. I'm not a cop. Look, I'm a private investigator. Summa cum laude. It goes with the job.
By golly, you said it.
Thank you, Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
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 Mr. Mannix. Must be Mr. Mannix.
Yes. Joe Mannix. A private investigator.
Ooh, investigator.
Yeah.
Hi, Mannix.
Mannix, where on earth have you been?
Well, figure it out.
Forget it, Mannix. Mr. Mannix can't help us.
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix. And yes, Mr. Mannix.
Exactly. I'm Joe Mannix, and you are... My name is Mannix. Who else? Well, now, that seems sort of unfriendly.
Mr. Mannix's office.
My name is Mannix. Maybe.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
Looking for a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Mr. Mannix.
You've had quite a day, Mr. Mannix.
Oh, I'm still single. 1,
Mr. Mannix.
2,
Mr. Mannix.
3.
Mr. Mannix.
You forgot to add 2.5.
Wow. Exactly how do you know that?
You don't know it, you just kind of smell it.
Dig.
A little man who wasn't there, who couldn't know,
Still digging.
which could add up to murder.
Sorry. I've just stopped digging.
I don't think that's very likely.
Come in, Mr. Mannix.
Are you serious, Mr. Mannix?
I'll come right to the point, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Well, that is the point, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix's office.
Yeah.
Mannix.
Oh, one other thing.
Mannix.
Exactly.
That's no visitors, Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Visitor's named Mannix.
Mannix.
You Mannix? Mannix, he was just here.
Clerk Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Yeah, that's all I'll need. I'm a private investigator. I'm the guy someone took a pot shot at. I'm the victim, not the suspect. Now get off my back.
What does that prove, Mannix?
Why, Mr. Mannix?
Oh, I'm afraid that life in a 90% tax bracket just isn't my scene. Mannix! Hold it, Mannix!
So now what, Mannix?
Montreal, Manelli. Yeah, maybe.
Mannix, Mannix.
It was something like that.
Oh, Miss Mason, this is Mr. Mannix.
Well, as you know, Mr. Mannix. Look, Mr. Mannix, the facts are simple.
I'm dying, Mannix.
Be very cautious, Mr. Mannix.
My name is Mannix. I'm a private investigator.
Mr. Mannix was murdered.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Mannix.
Yes.
Please, Mr. Mannix.
What are you doing here?
Snoopy.
You're off your rocker.
Boy, Mannix, you're going nuts.
Look, Mannix, be tough, fine.
The guts to move without a guts behind you, you come yourself.
Mannix, wait a minute. Look, you've got the... Mannix, you'll regret this.
No, I'm gonna make a big happy fortune out of that. Look, I know most of it now. I want you to sweat. Most of all, I want you to know who's doing it. My name is Mannix.
Mannix, eh?
I'm a private investigator. Long and cool with enough gin to cut the dust. I'm a romantic. I got a feeling it wasn't from natural causes.
Please, Mannix.
My name is Mannix.
Who can summon the dead, Mr. Mannix? It was a man named Mannix.
Recognize him, Mannix?
Mannix, be realistic.
Mr. Mannix's office.
Paid up clients can talk to me any day of the week. Except for one thing. This is Mannix.
Well, Mr. Mannix.
Look.
Shut up, Mannix. What's your next story, Mannix?
It's just the trouble these days. People twist the law to suit themselves.
Mannix, what's going on? Do you think I killed her, Mr. Mannix?
Don't lie to me. The police can check it out. Then that's the way it happens sometimes. I guess. You better not call me. Call Dial a Prayer.
Lieutenant, I'd like to see you, Mr. Mannix. Up there is Joe Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
I'm afraid you've been reading too many paperbacks. Yeah, and it might have worked, too.
Oh, because I'm scared stiff, Mr. Mannix.
I'm very happy to hear that.
What are you getting at, Mr. Mannix?
Mr. Mannix.
Joe Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
All right, Mr. Mannix. Who are you?
Joe Mannix.
Hello, Mr. Mannix.
Mannix, to the rescue.
Tell Mr. Mannix.
I'm your friend, and somebody tried to kill me.
Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Drop of water in one ocean meets a drop of water in another. Get me some towel! I don't know.
Mr. Mannix. Mr. Mannix.
How many handsome young men collect music boxes?
Yeah,
And who are you, I beg?
the name is Mannix.
Does your mother call you Mr. Mannix?
Mr. Mannix.
Honest, respectable, and rich.
Yes, Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Oh, Mannix is really hung up on this, isn't he?
Oh, don't get cute. Give it to me straight.
And the next life you lose may be your own. But all the returns aren't in yet.
Thanks. Just straight enough. But you're afraid. No hits. That you aren't even taking a swing at the ball.
What do you know?
Oh, it stinks. It smells. What do you know?
Be loyal to Joe Mannix.
Exactly.
Hey.
Mr. Mannix.
Mannix.
Why not, Mr. Mannix?
Mr. Mannix?
Mr. Mannix.
Easy, Mannix.
Right.
And I thought detectives simply made brilliant deductions.
Only the brilliant detectives.
You gone crazy?
Not that it's necessary.
Explain, Mr. Mannix.
Don't, Mannix.
Mr. Mannix.
Evening, Mannix.
I had it backwards.
Mr. Mannix.
5 more minutes, Mr. Mannix.
What brings you down to Springs, Mannix?
I'll spell it out for you in legal terms. Now, sit down. Hold it. A girl called Maureen McGill.
Maureen McGill.
Maureen McGill.
Miss McGill.
Look at that girl, Maureen McGill.
The model?
Maybe Miss McGill.
Mannix, don't make me ears muscle.
Joe Mannix.
She's got a thing about beautiful women, too.
How exciting.
My name is Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Oh, Joe.
No one sets a bear trap unless there are bears around. All right now, honey. Nice and easy.
Big, strong private detective like you.
A man named Joe Mannix.
Who are you?
Mannix. By the way, I'm Joe Mannix.
Do you have a large...
Well, I'd be happy to show it to you.
Joseph. Joe.
Pleasure. Oh, one thing.
Would you like to come up and have one drink?
Suppose I can. I'm still thirsty. Give me a call. The name is Joe. You seem to want to be alone.
I did.
Not bad.
Joe, is it you?
It is nice to be with you, Joe. I could get accustomed to this.
I'd like to help develop the habit.
You tramp!
She Must be quite a girl. She wasn't really worth it.
Hello, John.
Joe, how many times do I have to tell you?
You're playing a dangerous game, you know that.
Mannix. I won't know him for long. Joe? Hey, Joe.
Suppose I told you I'd hidden it in a secret compartment in my garter belt.
Well, that shouldn't bother a cool kitten like you. Oh, sir, not when they look like you. You got her address?
Hi.
Hello.
You don't look like a detective. You want a drink?
Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe.
We're all entitled to whatever comfort we can get. But I wouldn't refuse a little comfort.
She's a woman, you know.
I hate to spoil it for you, Joe.
Not too hard.
On the contrary, Joe.
Joe?
You're just a wildcatter, Joe.
Joe Mannix.
Look at me. There's never been anyone but you.
Mr. Mannix. Joe. No, talk to me, Joe, please.
I'm gonna look in a girl's eye.
Liquor?
Among other things.
It's too late, Joe. Joe. Oh, Joe.
I also spoke to a young lady, a very interesting young lady. I'm Mannix. If you'll just lift the corner of your blouse on the left side. Hello, sweetheart.
Well, there's a girl, reputedly a real swinging doll. Even the computer drooled a little.
Bodyguard?
Body. Since I was 18.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. I hope you get what you want, Joe.
How about dinner?
I live out in Malibu Canyon.
Oh, I'll be back to pick you up later.
Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe. 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 Joe.
What are you doing the rest of the evening? Better get you out of here.
Joe. Oh, Joe.
Please have my wife and Mr. Mannix come upstairs.
Your wife? After all, she's a beautiful girl. Would you like to try?
In bed.
I'd be delighted. Your wife told me midnight.
What are you talking about?
Should we go to my office? Yeah, maybe we'd better go in.
Another dish, but a quiet kid.
Older or younger? 21. Beautiful. Dead. A girl like Gina could move in all kinds of circles.
In bed.
I'd like to talk to your daughter.
Leave her alone!
Oh, boy, she really played it to the hilt and had me fooled.
Mannix, what do you really think of me?
In bed.
Oh, I need you plenty.
Sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
Oh, Joe. Joe.
Joe.
There's something else I've got to do first. An inside job. Lou, she could be in big trouble and need protection.
In bed.
There's a shy, frightened girl who came here thinking maybe for the first time she had an outside chance of leading a quiet, peaceful life. Looking for a girl. You get me the name of the girl.
Mr. Mannix?
I may have to hurt her. Before I do, I want to be sure there's a good reason, okay? I'm gonna have to put the clamps on that girl. Take her up to my place and beat the information out of her. And you better level with me or I'll knock it out of you. And you know I'll do it. I sure shook her up. Didn't enjoy doing it. This might be her day. They can't prove a thing. So what do? Just leave her naked?
In bed.
Oh, no thanks, Mr. Mannix.
She wouldn't be safe in a bank vault. Look, I don't want to buck you.
In bed.
You're rotten.
Yeah, I've been told that before. You're not being very helpful. I'm getting inside. Sit down.
You're not nice at all.
Now, there's one way we can get her back. On me. They're putting the squeeze on good and tight. Not bad. Got a feeling Big Jack would have liked your style.
I mean, how does she look?
Black. Peggy? Peggy?
Mr. Mannix's office.
Peggy? Peggy? Peggy. Now listen to me, Peggy. Peggy? Peggy? Peggy, I want him an ill envelope. Peggy, call that insurance agent. Tell him I got a few bullet holes in the car, huh? Where's Peggy?
Hi.
Peggy, Peggy, I need help. Oh, morning, Peggy. Peggy? Peggy? What are you doing here, Peggy?
Can a woman be both a good mother and a lousy seamstress?
Peggy? Hold it, Peggy. Now, Peggy...
Maybe I've been working for Mannix too long. You work for peanuts.
Somebody went through a lot of trouble for peanuts.
Hey, Joe, I'm sorry.
Peace, Peggy. Peace.
So I've got to go now.
Okay, let's take it from the top.
How many times do we have to hear it?
Shh, Peg.
Mr. Mannix? Mr. Mannix?
That's right.
Mannix.
I can recite it in my sleep. Thank you. And goodbye.
Guess that's the end of the rainbow.
That's right.
After all, Mr. Mannix.
You've already done remarkably, Mannix.
Thank you, Mr. Mannix.
Goodbye, Mr. Mannix.
Well, thanks. Run along, Willie. Go home, Ken. Go back to school and play basketball.
All right, come on. Case is closed. Let's go.
No, not yet.
There's nothing more to say.
There's a lot more to say, Mrs. Kovac, and you'd better listen.
Well, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Mannix.
Stick around, sweetheart.
Case isn't closed.
Mr. Mannix probably has some questions for you.
Awkward questions.
Mannix, don't try to pump me.
So don't crowd me.
Let's clear up a few things first. Right now, I'll settle for how, why, and by whom. What's the rest?
Next question?
Don't tell me who, just tell me what. I'll just keep it as simple, who and why. Not how. By whom? Well, who are they and just what did they steal?
It still doesn't tell us who or why.
Well, here's an easy one. Can't or won't?
Mannix, I'm glad you asked me that question.
That's my question. There must be 1,000 answers. But you made your point. Now answer the questions. Who did? Who's putting the pressure on? Who? For who? Who else knew it?
Does that have any significance?
Who gave you the money? Who do you know? Who's your large friend?
Who did it?
Yeah. Who? Now, it'd be interesting to know if, what for? What time? What's the big secret?
What kind of trouble?
What are you mixed up in? What did she know? To do what? About what? What did he look like? Is that true? Which is what? For what? Does what? What?
Who knows what it's about?
Say anything else? You sure? For where? Where? Where are you now? Where is she? Where? Yeah, where? Where is he? Well, where? Where would you suggest I start looking? Where? I have another question. When? I was just curious, and I'll check any answer you give me. Why? Why? You have any idea why? 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 Why did... Why? Why? Yeah, why? Tell me. Why? I don't know why. What? How would I know? More important, why? 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 Let's take it from the top. Why? Yeah, that's the big question. Oh, why not?
Oh, shut up.
Now, you found your way in here, Mr. Mannix. Will you please find your way out?
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Not yet.
Now, will you please get out?
All right, Mr. Mannix, let's go. All right, Mannix, get lost. But take this with you.
I don't want any part of this, Joe.
Just get out and don't slam the door.
All right, Mannix, we can get along without you.
You can leave now, Mr. Mannix.
Goodbye, Mannix.
Now get out of here. This has not been one of my better days.
Goodbye, Mannix.
I'll see you later.
Goodbye, Mr. Mannix.
Goodbye.
See you in 3 to 5 years, Mannix.
Well, as they say in TV land, have a nice weekend, Mr. Mannix.
Get out.
You know the way out, Joe.
Is that the end of it then?
That's it then.
We went through a lot together.
All right, Mannix. Let's go.
Good night, Mannix.
Bye.
Mannix.
So long, handkerchief thief.
Goodbye, Mannix.
Zagehani Chukche. Atani.
Joe, get out of here.
Good night.
Good night.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Mannix. Well, that's it. Nice meeting you.
I'm cut.